Hello everybody, my name is Damilola Mike-Bamiloye and I'm here with my wife
Manola Mike-bamiloye.
Yes, so we're here to share the story of how we met. Alright, so who's going first? Ladies first or
okay.
First? You do the honors.
Okay. Yeah. Alright. Rewind to 2016. I was in final year then, medical school, and I came across Dami's movie Ignition, and when I watched it I was so blessed because then I was going through some emotional crisis. Like I just came out of a relationship that didn't work out and everything, so the movie really blessed me and just like helped me have faith in God that God was going to give me the very best. So before then, the year before, like December 2015, I had sent a message on Facebook to my darling husband and his brother. I sent the very same message to both of them. I sent, introduced myself, I made my intentions, my desire to be a part of drama ministry, my passion for acting, and my desire to be a part of it. I sent the message to Dami and Joshua on Facebook. Little did I know that I was on my own.
No. You're not alone. God is with you.
Anyways, apparently both of them are very bad with Facebook and generally DMs. So I waited, and nobody replied me, and so I kind of let it slide. So the next year I watched Ignition, and I found out that they advertised that there was the institute coming up in May. And that was like April. But then I had final exams in August, so it wasn't feasible. There was no way I was going to leave school, attend 2 weeks training, and then exams coming up. So I just decided that if November was available, then I'll work towards that. So fast forward to November, I had finished school, had passed my final exams, and then I had this like window period of I was free basically. And I had been wanting to just, this passion for drama was just burning within me, and I wanted to do something about it. So I made some contact, and long story cut short, I decided to attend the Mount Zion Institute of Christian Drama in November. But there was a little issue. My dad was of the opinion he didn't understand why I was doing that when I already had medicine in one side, and so he was not fully in support. But there was just this push. I couldn't explain it. Now this had nothing to do with that because in my mind I didn't even know he was even coming for the institute. I just thought maybe daddy.
Seriously. Okay, go on.
I just thought it was daddy and mommy that I would see, and then Mount Zion brethren. So I had no intention of meeting Dami or anybody. I just wanted to like learn and just get this passion going. So a week to the institute, I went to visit a senior friend who happened to be a mutual friend. I didn't even know at that point in time that he also knew Dami. So when I went to visit him, and we're just saying general stuff, and I was even telling him about the guy who I was like getting close to, but I wasn't sure if it was God's will, and it was just very messed up. Like it was an old classmate who we just reconnected, and so I was just saying this other mutual friend about him, telling him that I'm not sure exactly what's up, and so this mutual friend in question now, he was encouraging me that I should just focus on God and trust God, and I decided to do that. So when I told him I was going for the institute, he now told me that Dami mentioned it to him. So I'm like, which Dami? Because I'm like, I didn't even think, it didn't even click my mind that it was him was referring to. And I said, Damilola Mike-Bamiloye now. I'm like, oh, so I like, oh, okay, I didn't know about that. I didn't know you guys even knew each other. He now said, yeah, that. He now told me how they knew each other. He now said that he wanted to call him. Hey! At that point, my heart was in again. I couldn't believe my eyes and my ears. I'm like, what? Don't call him, don't call him, don't. I was already freaking out, like I was feeling hot from within, like what is happening? Because I've always admired Dami a lot. I had watched his movies and I'd been so like inspired and motivated and challenged. I'm like, how can a human being be this, used by God? I was always very challenged, so a little bit jealous, a little bit, I won't lie, there was a part of me that was like, how is he doing all these things for God? And okay, so when I found out that I had the slightest opportunity to get in contact with him, I was freaking out, like, oh my God, everything in me was just going fast, my heart rate pumping fast, everything. And so my friend was trying to tell me that why are you so, what's going on? And I just had to like, okay, nothing. And then lo and behold, he placed the call through to Dami, and he put on speaker, and then the phone was ringing. Dami didn't initially pick it out, like he's not going to pick it. Suddenly he just picked it, and then I heard his voice. I'm like, oh my god, that's Damilola, that's the same Damilola I hear on TV. That's the Damilola whose movies I've watched, and I was freaking out. And okay, so when I heard his voice on the phone, I was like, oh my god, this is the same Damilola on TV. Then my friend told him that there was someone coming to institute, and so I was hearing Dami's voice on the phone saying, oh wow, that's nice, that's really good, that person should come and everything. But I like the fact that, I mean, my friend didn't tell him that it was a lady, so it was just very plain and neutral. So at that point, my friend was not like that, the person wants to say hi, of which I had no idea that he was going to do that. So at that point, I was like, my voice like literally disappeared. But thankfully, it was a WhatsApp call and then it disconnected. So at that point, I just quickly ended the call. I'm like, why did you do that? I didn't expect that, and blah, 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 blah. Fast forward to the next week, I found myself in Ife. I have never been there before. I had never, in fact, it was basically like Alice in Wonderland. Because I just found myself there. Even though I knew at the back of my mind that my steps were ordered, because I kept on having this push, even when I had things that were discouraging me and that would make me feel like, this doesn't make any sense. I just had this drive, this push that you have to be there, you need to be there, this is where I was meant to be. And so I followed the God's leading, and I found myself in Ife, and we had a series of lectures, one of which was given by our darling teacher. He gave us a lecture on youth evangelism, and that day I can't forget, because when on the hall, and I didn't know he was going to give us a class, and then I was on the phone, and I just saw him like walk past, and everything just paused. I just was like, oh my god, this is Damilola, this is Damilola on TV and everything. And then he now came to class, and it was a 2-hour class, but it seemed like 2 minutes, because I really enjoyed it. It was so fun, it was interesting, it was impactful. I was really blessed. And after class, I had the option of going to say hi to him, like, hello, hi, my name is this, and then I had the option of not doing it, because one thing I didn't want is to look desperate or to look like I like you, oh my god, I'm dying to meet you, that kind of thing. So I just told myself that if that was what it was going to look like, I wasn't going to do it. So after class, there are people going to say hi to him, so going to meet him, take pictures and everything. And I felt, and at that moment, I sensed that it wasn't good. I wasn't going to look. I was going to look somehow, going to meet him. So I decided to carry my bag, my books. I went to my room. So after one of the Holy Ghost breakfasts, I finally decided to say hi to him. And when I did, he was very friendly. He said he so he was like, hi, nice to meet you and everything, and then he said we'll see around. So we continued with our we're in different groups and different activities going on. I was in the House of Joshua. Then he was just one of the refreshers. Hey, but it's second week now. Anyways, it was another. We're in different groups for our practical, and so our parties would just clash, hello, hi, and everything until a particular day. But before that day, want to tell your own version of the story.
Yes. So how we met. Funny enough, I just fell out of a relationship too, and I told myself before I enter that relationship, I must be sure God is involved in this one, because the last time was based on love, and yes, there was love, but love is not enough in a relationship. Love is not. It's not just about love. You have to find where there is a central point or a point where a margin point of purpose and vision. So I told myself the next relationship is going to be God first, vision, then maybe love will be the last thing. So that was what I told myself. So I was having this prayer walk, and I was telling God, please, I want to get it right this time around, because that's one area I know that is the most important part of my life. So a friend called me and said, there's a lady coming to...
Did you say lady?
He said there
is someone.
Okay, there is someone. No, there is a lady.
I was there when he called.
There are two friends that called. Two different people. Let me share my story.
Oh, sorry.
He said the first person called me. He said there is a lady coming to Mozart Institute and she's a doctor. You know, I said, hey, the doctor. And I told myself, doctor, that's the last person I want to get married to. Because I know how busy a doctor can be, you know. And she did, funny enough, he told me her name. He told me she's Emanuela, she's from Benin, she's from this. So I have a full detailed profile of who she is even before, you know, praying about whether she's the one or not. Then another friend called me and said, there's more, and these two guys don't know each other at all. They don't know each other from anywhere, you know. And this person called me and said, there's another person called, there's someone coming to, that's the other person entirely, not the former friend. He said, there's someone coming to Mozart Institute, and her name is Emanuela. I said, this is the second person telling me about Emanuela coming to Mozart Institute. The same Emanuela. So I started praying about it. I don't know who this person is. I told God, I don't know who this Emanuela is, but you know, lecture will be done. You know, so I went to the Mozart Institute. I went to lecture. I'm a lecturer at Mozart Institute. So I went to lecture, and as I stood to lecture the class, and I was looking around, then I saw that tall, light lady, and immediately I had a connection. I knew that this is the Manuela. This is the Manuela that people are talking about. I just knew this is the person. Then I finished lecturing. A lot of people came to greet me and all that, and I exchanged pleasantries with different people. Then I was looking for this tall sister that I saw the other time, and I didn't see her again. She didn't come to greet me. She didn't do anything. Then I went to Ibadan, and I was thinking, I called my friend. I said, the person you are talking about, is she tall? I said, yes. Is she light? Yes. I said, no problem. That's the person. Then I started praying about her, because I had a crash, a relationship crash earlier, and I didn't want another drama. Because I was praying about Ella, and I was praying about her, and I went to the upper week I went there. I went to the Mozart Institute again. This time around I saw her. Okay. Then I was talking to a friend. Then she walked on. This friend, I was talking to a friend. This friend said, Dami, I want you to meet this person. Her name is Manuela. She's a fantastic writer too and everything. Then Ella was so disappointed and I was shy about it. And I'm like, oh, stop.
That's very embarrassing. Like, you made it as look
stop,
as if I was desperate to meet you.
Stop introducing me. I'm like, yeah, you want to share? Stop introducing me. Stop. I don't like it. Stop. What's wrong with this sister? I said, hey, hello, how are you, mate? He said, my name is Emmanuel. I said, how are you? How's everything? She was still doing.
I know, it's really embarrassing. No, you can imagine. I had rehearsed my lines. I knew how I wanted to speak. And then somebody just came all of a sudden that there's this sister that's been dying to meet you. It made me look desperate. I'm serious.
So she was with, and I said, okay, I said, I will get her. So it was after, I don't know when, I think it was the next day that I went to meet her properly. I said, Manuela, how are you and everything? She says, fine, what do you do? I still don't know anything. I was asking questions.
Sure.
Doctor, yeah, doctor, what is it? So after I went to tell my dad. I said, look, there is somebody downstairs, and her name is Emanuela, and she's dad said, I know her. I've been seeing someone like that around. I know her already. She's a doctor. I said, she's a doctor. I know her. So I want you to pray. I want you to pray with me because I'm seeing some signals, and I want you to pray with me. And my dad said, okay, we'll pray along. And I told the same thing, like I like to carry my parents along because I like to carry everybody along, my siblings too. My brother too, I carried my brother along. I like to carry people along in this on this journey because really the issue of leadership is not something you can handle alone. You need spiritual mentors. You need people ahead of you who can advise you, who can pray for you, So I involved the family and we're praying together. So my dad just gave me the ginger. He said, you know what? Just go and meet her. Whatever she says, just believe it. If she says no, then just no is no. If she says yes, then pray more. Then the next day I went to wear my dress. I went to suit off. Not like I didn't wear a suit, but I wear a tie. I looked fine, I looked fresh. I tried to be as presentable as possible. Someone it's so funny how the first serious conversation we had was just a straightforward question. But anyway, I went to meet her and I told her I would like to see her after the class. And unfortunately, she was busy, so all my dressing and
No, you have mixed it up.
Yeah,
I was not when I was busy. You were busy. We had finished our class, and then he wanted to see me, and went under a tree. I sat down. Everything was cozy and cool.
It was not under it.
It was under a tree.
Unfortunately, it was under a tree.
Okay, so I was seated and everything. I was trying to crack my brain as to why he wanted to see me. I couldn't fathom. Like, okay, why does this guy want to see me? Like, we're not close. The only thing I know is who you are on at public and everything. I didn't know who he was. And then I was just waiting to hear what he had to say, and then he was telling me, no, don't worry, just be calm, just be free, I want to just gist with you. Okay, so I'm like, okay, who does that? That kind of just gist with me. And then at that point, suspense was like building, and then someone came to meet him that his attention was needed. It was so frustrating. So he had to leave, and then continue.
So in the evening, I called her. We went to the class. We sat at the back of the class. I just sat down. I was talking about different things. I was asking different questions. Where does she live? Her parents, what do they do? Different things.
Lenny, you asked the short question, shut up. You asked all these ones after. I'm sure you know.
What did I say before?
Okay, I'm coming. Anyway, so after that meeting, what he did was that we had to apologize and like postpone that we'll meet again in the evening, because I had my exams, our like training institute exams. So after the exams, he had already changed to something more casual. It was no longer like all that. And so we went to a classroom, and then we sat down, and so he just told me. So the first question he asked me was if I was in a relationship.
Oh yes.
Exactly.
I said, are you in a relationship? I was a sharp man, eating the nail on the head. No time for. I said, are you in a relationship, sister? I didn't call you sister then. I said, are you in a relationship? She said, no. Okay, and I said, good. Straight to the point. I said, I would like to enter into a relationship with you with marriage in view. Then, she was just quiet, just looking at her. This is action.
That's not what I did.
You are sweat up and down.
I paused. And then I stretched and I picked there was a file. Then
automatic
because the question met me unaware. I wasn't expecting to.
Because there's no time.
I was shocked, and so I was like, "What? Like, what is this? What's going on?" And then at this point, and I told you that this is where Shola says water in ignition, and then I laughed and everything. And so I was after he now started asking. Then I was not like that. You don't know me, like you don't know my last name, you don't know Jack about me. And then he smiled and started asking me, that he wants to know me. Started asking questions about me, and then at that point started talking.
Yes.
Then the Isaac and Rebecca. Then I asked what his conviction was. Like, how would you be so convinced? Like you don't know me. Then
then that's why I told you about Isaac and Rebecca.
Yeah.
Fact. But then I like to hack the way she was when I asked that question. So priceless, because that was the first thing we said. As I met her in the class, I sat down. I said, "How are you? How's everything?" Yeah, that's just the question. Are you in a relationship? Yes.
I said no.
I said no. So I said no. And I said, "I'd like to enter marriage. I'd like to enter a relationship with you, with marriage in view."
You're exaggerating.
But then I was looking for fan up and down. He was looking for fan up and down.
I just didn't see coming.
Yeah, so she asked my convictions and I shared it with her. But I think that's what it's like. That's the reason for this talk show, is just to share some things with everyone. And basically, it's the fact that my conviction basically for entering the relationship is, I told myself that the most important thing is entering a relationship that has the purpose of God as the foundation and has a vision that guides it. A relationship that has the purpose of God as the foundation and has the vision of God guiding it. You don't feed these cattle, and if you don't quench their thirst, you will get stranded because you get tired. In the same way, your vision should be something you feed. You should feed your vision. You should feed your assignment. You should feed your purpose with the right water, with the right attitude. For example, now, if I have a vision to serve the Lord through drama, and I don't go to conferences and I don't go to places that will feed this vision, it will die. or I don't feed this vision with God's word, I don't feed this vision with the assignment that with God's word, it will die prematurely, you know. So that's why a lot of people, they have visions that have died prematurely because they didn't feed it. They didn't quench the thirst of this vision. You know, they didn't quench the thirst. So in the same way, the servant told God, he said, look, I have cattle, and this cattle, I want these cattle to be fed with water. Then came this beautiful lady, Rebecca, who said, I will not only feed you,
I will also feed your cattle.
That simply means that the person that God has for me is not someone that will just feed me, but that will be a part of that vision that God has given me, that assignment that God has given to me. For example, now the truth of the matter is that the vision, which represents the cattle, will definitely carry the servant. You know, it is what the servant will ride on and will move from place to place. The cattle will make the servant move faster. You know, so in life it's the same thing. Your assignment on earth is what you ride on. I will make you move faster. It will make you keep going. A man without vision is like a man who is stranded, who is empty. You know, so I know that love is not enough. There should be something that will connect the person that God wants to marry, that God wants me to marry, with this vision. There should be a connection. My assignments, my vision has to be connected to the person's assignment and also to the person's vision. So the person should be able to say, you know what,
let me feed also your cattle.
let me feed your assignment, let me feed your vision. That vision that God has given to you, that vision that God has given to you for you to ride on, let me feed it. Now I said earlier that the vision represents, that's the interpretation that God gave me, that the cattle represents the assignment, the cattle represent the vision, because it doesn't belong to me, it belongs to God in the first place. I'm just riding on it. You know, so I was telling God, Lord, who is this person who can feed me? And not just feed me, feed this vision.
That means the person must also be interested in the cattle.
The person must be interested in the vision, you know. And that was where Manuela came in. And I saw this young lady who is passionate about drama. In fact, initially, when my friend was talking to me, he was telling me that this sister is very passionate about drama. Now, I wasn't banking on those words. I was banking on one thing. I was banking on, you know, the move of God, what God is telling me to do at that point in time. You know, because I saw her, and I saw how passionate she was. And I asked, we got talking, and as we were talking and sharing, we discovered that we were speaking the same language. In terms of purpose, in terms of, passion, vision, we are speaking the same language. We are flowing in the same frequency. She was already, even before I said A, she had said B, C, D, E. It's like God has prepared her for that assignment that God has given me. You know, it's like God has prepared her to feed my cattle, to feed my vision, to feed the assignment that God has given me, without even me saying so much. She knows everything. God has already prepared that. That brings me to the point that whoever God has for you, He has prepared that person already. Rebecca said, I will not only feed you, I will also feed your cattle. I will not only feed you, that means she wasn't compelled to do so. Anybody that you try to compel to fit into your assignment, to fit into your vision, watch that person critically, because that person may not be the person that you will align with in terms of vision and purpose. You were saying something about it was, you know, because of the vessel that someone carries. That's what the vessel that Rebecca was carrying was what brought her to the well in the first place. You know, so also that also talks about location. You know, the well is where they fetch water.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where a lot of ladies come to fetch water and all that. But Rebecca was present at that point in time. So it also has to do with your location. Also matters a lot. You know, God has been dealing with me. God has been talking to me. I was like, look, where you will find your wife, it's by the well. Is by the well, so stay close to the well. So I'm asking, where? The question now is, where is this well? You know, so I got an I realized that the well, you know, signifies to me a place of vision, a place where a place where people come to fetch vision, where people come to fetch the revelation for the assignment, for the purpose, for their lives, you know. So I realized, okay, the well is for me at that time is the Mount Institute. Everybody has different wells. Your well could be somewhere else, your well could be another place, but there is always a location. There's always a location where God's will definitely find you, where you will find God's will. So in other words, you will find God's will in the best place to find God's will is in the place of your purpose and is the place of your calling. That is the best place to find God's will. Is in the place, the location of your calling, the location of your purpose is most likely the best place to find God's will.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
the well, that side where people come to fetch water is the place you will get someone who you'll be connected to, who will say, you know what, let me fetch water and feed your vision.
And I'm sorry, another thing is that particularly as ladies, you cannot attract qualities you don't have, in the sense that if you are not prepared spiritually, you're now asking and praying to God for a spiritually sound brother, someone who is going to, Jim brother, and you yourself as a vessel, as a person, you have not allowed God to work upon you, to prepare you. You can't expect that God, who is up there, who is sovereign, will give his own son who loves him just any kind of person. So instead of praying and ask and being desperate to meet the person or find the person, allow God to work upon you, allow God to build you, to break you, to develop you, to prepare you for the palace, to prepare you for the work he has, for the role he has for you. Because once he comes, it's not at that point you now start saying, God, please, I don't know how to pray in tongues, or I don't know how to fast, I'm not spiritually discerning. It's before he comes. So all the time of your waiting, all the time of seeking the face of the Lord is the time for you to allow God to work upon you, to prepare you, to get you ready. It's not when he comes that you now start doing all that thing. Because when he comes, if he comes and he meets you in an unprepared state, he will be disappointed. He probably be like, you didn't hear God very well. This cannot be the person. So don't instead of praying for God, I want this. It's good to pray for all those things, but also ask God to build you up, to develop you, to make you a better person, a better Christian.
Yeah. All right. So let me rewind a little bit. So after I proposed to Ella, I got talking. I spoke to her the second day, but I was sharing some things with her. I was asking her questions, a lot of questions, and she was replying. So she said she would get back to me. She said she would give me a reply much later. Definitely. Then of course I knew that would be the answer. I wasn't expecting you would say yes. Suddenly.
Oh, okay.
When you say I said yes, if she had said yes, I knew that was a problem.
It's like
something
Sophia
is wrong.
in ignition. Who says yes? The chicken in the mouth.
So I knew she was going to give me, that pause. That's traditional pause.
Not traditional.
Let me pray about it. Of course, let me pray about it. So I knew. So I waited. I said, you know what? Give me your father's number. I want to speak to Daddy. I'd like to share this thing. Then she said, I can't give you my dad's number now. I said, give me.
No, but before then, I had called my dad to tell him this. Like Dami said, it's very important to be accountable, to carry your parents along, particularly if they are Christian and godly parents. And my parents are godly parents who I see as my spiritual head. So I told my dad, and he was like, "What? Start coming home now, nah."
The only girl.
Yeah, I'm the only girl. So he was like that. He doesn't understand what I'm saying, though. That how can someone meet me in 2 weeks and ask me out that I should start coming home? So he didn't take it like I don't know, excitement and everything. Told me start coming home. So now with this on ground, my darling husband, then not even boyfriend or fiancé, then suitor, you got my number, my daddy's number from you.
Let me talk to daddy because I was excited. I was fired up with the this is a new thing. Fire was my bones. So let me talk. I want to talk to your father. So she gave me dad's number, and I got him and I called dad. Good afternoon, sir. The phone. He said hello. Good afternoon. I just say, yeah, my name is Damilola Mike-Bamiloye. I have to emphasize that Mike-Bamiloye. Damilola Mike-Bamiloye. We used to go to the same church and this and that. And I'm Emanuela's friend, sir. So I guess that already, knew who I was. So I was like, okay, fine. What's the basis of this call? And I froze. It's like that question slapped me. I was speechless. And I started saying, the basis. at that point, I just said, I wanted to believe that the network was terrible. Maybe
Daddy hung up on you, Joe.
No, I think it's the network.
He hung up.
I still want to believe it's the network. That's why I said this must be the network. That night I was still lying on my bed and I was still asking myself the basis of the call, the basis of. I was still standing the basis of the call. But you see, today now we have the basis of the call. You know, so it's amazing. Later on, I know after a while, we got talking and everything. She convinced her parents, and the relationship kind of started.
No, they prayed about it. My parents prayed about it. They had their conviction, but they wanted me to be sure for myself. They didn't want me to give him a reply based on what God has told them.
Yes.
So I prayed about it, and then God gave me certain things, some words, and I shared with them, and they said, okay, if that I can go on.
I cannot forget the first day I went to visit your dad and your mom. It
wasn't bad, Joe.
It wasn't bad, but the way I was feeling, I was so restless. How would Daddy feel like? I was so restless. She was just calming me down. Damn, calm down. It's good.
No, please, not you to be the only girl.
It's so good. But they end up being the best, people that are amazing persons. Daddy and Mommy are one of the best, and I'm so proud to be their son-in-law. It's amazing having great parents who are, who understand your assignment, understand your vision, understand your purpose, and they just support you in everything. It's just amazing. I'm gentle right now.
Why are you gentle?
My mind is at peace.
Why is your mind at peace?
And I'm so settled.
Why are you settled?
Because I'm about to meet a last mommy.
No, my parents. Actually, anytime from now.
I'm never happy to do this video. I'm so not in the mood for this video.
Me, as in, I'm just trying to be calm too. I'm really. I don't. What should I be the one that is hyper right now?
No, you should be the one. Your character in this drama is that you should be the one to comfort me. That means everything is okay. My parents are nice people.
I've told you these things before now. You should know. My friends are very nice. They are here, safe. They're nice. You can cut the video now.
Alright, now we can cut the video now. But I'm hoping and believing that it's going to be a wonderful experience. It's going to be a beautiful experience.
Are we done?
The idea is to try to bargain with the father, like you want to take your daughter.
Don't even talk that kind of talk here. You're on your own.
The most important thing is that if we all should understand that if we follow God's path and if we obey God direct completely and yield to God completely, it makes all things beautiful this time.
Yes.
There's no hard and fast rule, as you said. God can choose to, bring somebody from far away, from whoever the person from far away, and bring the person to you. And God can also choose to bring someone close to you that you've been seeing this person for long, but you know that this person can actually be the person that will end up married.
Okay.
But the most important thing is that you just be busy in God's service, because it's in God's service that you can find who He has for you. It's in God's service that you can locate that person.
Yeah.
You won't locate the best outside of His service. The best is in His service, So that is the encouragement I want to give everybody, So, would you want to say something?
Yeah, basically you said it all. Just I believe so much in allowing God to fill the void in your heart, loving God, serving God. Get busy with God. Get yourself focused on God, not on what He can give you, but just
get to the point where you tell God, if you don't give me, then I don't want anything from anyone else.
Yeah.
If you don't give me, if you don't provide this for me, if you don't give me, then I don't want anything from anyone else.
Yeah.
Don't let anxiety make you make the wrong decisions.
And there's even another point you get to that God, I'm just going to love you and serve you, even if you don't give me this, even if it happens that I don't get this whenever, however, I just want to love you and serve you, because God always has the best in store. And another thing is that when God closes a door, like both of us were coming out of previous relationships, and it felt like, God, for me, I felt like, can anyone be better than this? It felt like after 4 years of a relationship and things had gone this way, there was just a disappointment. But I realized that whenever you are in God, working for God, serving God, loving God, He always gives you the best.
Yeah, every disappointment is an appointment for greater. Greater purpose.
He doesn't close a door to, for you, if He doesn't have something better in store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever He closes a door, it's because He has something better. Yeah. So thank you for listening to us. It's been an amazing time.
Yes.
we do what?
We are grateful.
We are so grateful. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a lovely time. God bless you.
Amen. Bye.
Bye.